On here because you want to recolour the hood, revitalise it, call it what you like. I'm going to give you some do's and don'ts. Firstly, to take one colour and try to make it another colour, in my experience, doesn't work. We've been recolouring and reconditioning roofs for 30 years or so. So we've seen all the roofs over the years, and we have tried it. We have been convinced by customers to try it. Got dark blue, want to make it black. Here's where it goes wrong. The colour needs a bit of body. So we've spoken to the designer of one of the companies, the manufacturers out there that actually, the chemist, if you like, that put the colour together. And he's quite right. You know, we didn't understand it at the start. But if you make a colour dye, like if you had a white t-shirt and dyed it, it can just be like almost a dye, so no body to it. If you have a roof, of course, with all the different shapes and it's like indentations and all this, you need a colour with a bit of body in it. You need to be able to cover some of those things. You can't just make it liquid that's coloured. So once you put a bit of body with it, then when you colour it and brush it on, it looks and covers some of those little blemishes. The problem with that is that from 10 feet away, it looks nice and black. You know, when you get a little bit closer, then you might think, looks a little bit like it's had a coat of paint almost, you know. If you've got, let's say you're going to colour a blue roof to a black roof, you need to get a couple of 2 or 3 coats on it. And of course, you know, because you want to make sure there's no blue can be seen. So, of course, once you start to put another coat on, then another coat, each time you coat it, it looks a little bit more like it's been painted, and that's the problem. So if you have an older car and they can't make the roof, and we've done 1 or 2 of those over the years, and a trimmer will make a roof for you, of course, they can get a pattern, but it costs a lot of money to do that. So let's say you've got an old vintage car and the roof really is grey and you know, it's been on there a lot of years, it's a barn find. The colour works brilliantly because it has the body and it will make a dramatic improvement. When you've got a nice new Audi, Mercedes, you know, or your nice dream car, then there's a trade-off. The reality is that what you need to do is get the roof cleaned properly. So if you want the roof cleaned properly, it's got to be cleaned and then dried, and then you've got to look at it again and see what it looks like. If it doesn't look as clean as you think, it looks a bit grey, maybe there's a few patchy areas, that's because it's still dirty. So you need to clean it again. And we found over the years, if you clean the roof properly, and you may have to clean it 4 or 5 times, they do cleaning kits out there, and you need to do a lot of cleaning if you are. You're going to need to be prepared to roll your sleeves up and give it a real good clean. Get the hose pipe out, get the brushes, get in all the stitches, get in the little gutter areas where, you know, sometimes they've got a fabric gutter along the sides, and give it a good brush, get all the green out from round the back window. And sometimes even you've got to tilt the roof to get into the bit that is otherwise covered. So you've got to give it a good clean, rinse it all off properly, and then have another look at it. And if you can see there's still dirty bits or bits that you're not happy with, it's because it's still dirty. 99% of the time, you just need to give it another bloody good clean, dry it all off, rinse it off. If you can see then that it's 60% better, you may have to go again, and that's what we've learned over the years. So those of you guys that are learning and want to do it as a service, what I can say is that you need to give it a real good clean, and then once you think you've given it a real good clean, give it another one before you wait for it to dry. Sometimes you can suck off the water. If you get a cloth, you can blot it and bring off a lot of the water to make it quicker to dry. Sometimes if you put it in the sun and put it at an angle, the water will run out quicker for you to get it to the dry that you need to decide then whether it's clean enough. And then there's a range of protection products out there that aren't coloured, that are just clear. Once you put them on, then suddenly you find the roof all starts to look really nice. Amazing.